Hello and welcome to the Basketball Addicts Podcast, the podcast where we answer the question that everybody wants to know, especially since it's week 2 of the season. How can you hate from outside the finals? You can't begin. How can you hate from outside the finals when you can't even get in? Woo! Another exciting episode, week 2 of basketball in the books. Let's go. Yes. How you guys feeling today? We got Jason and we got Darren.
Yeah, I think the first thing we should do is introduce Darren, because Darren's going to become the third guy on our podcast. It's going to become a consistent thing every week. So, Darren, kind of try to introduce yourself. I know we've had you in the podcast in a while back, so wanted to just introduce yourself a little bit.
Well, thank you guys for having me on the podcast. I'm very excited, as you can see. And just a little background: I'm basically just a basketball player that turned. Or that played pro basketball before graduating high school and played college basketball on a full ride scholarship in the same year. That's addicted to video games. Basically, to sum it up, I can't sum it up any better than that. I don't need to go into a spiel. That's basically just in a short sentence. I'm literally addicted to video games. I can't help it. It's really so.
Yeah, if you check his Instagram page, there's a ton of Instagram. I actually saw one TikTok clip that looks like it got a gazillion views. I think it was like 700,000 or something ridiculous like that.
It's 760,000, and I was just talking to Chris now that on my TikTok, I've got 600 followers, and I got over 1 million views in just 5
That's cool.
months. Yeah, man, I love it. So this is awesome.
Man.
Yeah, man, can't wait. I'm just excited to talk about the NBA season and just get this started.
Yeah, man, we're excited to have you, man. Today we're going to talk about week 2 of the NBA season thus far. You know, we have a lot on the agenda today, but I think that prior to us starting this episode, I think we had a nice conversation going. I kind of just want to just keep that rolling. So I'm going to add another player in there, right? So of these 3 players, right?
Intro the conversation, though.
Huh?
I'd intro the conversation, though. Like, what are we talking about? We're talking about point guards.
Okay, yeah. So we were talking about who was the better point guard of Ja Morant and Luka, because we were thinking okay, Ja Morant will probably is one of our favorite players, especially mine. And was saying he might win the MVP race, and then we were talking about Luka, how he's slow, methodical, kind of breaks you down a little bit, but Ja is really super fast and athletic. But I want to add another player to this. Who's the better point guard between Steph Curry, Ja, and Luka? Thoughts,
Darren, I'll let you go first.
Oh man, I'm going Steph Curry, because Steph Curry is definitely one of the greatest shooters, if not the greatest shooter of all time. He also has got a great handle, and he's also got a great a pass IQ for a point guard when you see him on the court. So I would put him ahead of Luka and Ja Morant, and also he has championships behind that also. So
yeah, one thing I would like to tap onto that most people don't know is the year before Steve Kerr got there, Steph Curry was averaging 8 assists a game with Mark Jackson, being the volume pick and roll guy. But most people don't associate him with passing. Mine, I'm going with Luka. Luka's my number 1 point guard in the league. I know he can't defend, and it's just so sad. The reason why is Luka, his passing level is just ridiculous. He's top 5, top 10 passer in the league. He makes his teammates better. His ability to score from 3 levels, to be just so efficient at scoring in his own pace and the way he plays. His just level of dominance in the playoffs, too, what we've seen him do to teams like the Clippers, even though they didn't beat him that series about 2 or 3 years ago, but Kawhi and Paul George are guarding him, and he's still cooking. It's just, he steps it up in the big moments, and for me, he's the best. I also think Ja's got to be in the conversation, too. I feel like we're seeing Ja improve more in the 3-point shooting aspect. I've definitely seen him hit a lot more standstill 3-point shots, or coming off the pick and roll, and the bigs too far away from him. He's been shooting that shot very well. It's something he's improved in his game even more. And, Ja's got really high upside, especially if he ever masters the defensive end. Because then he would be a good 3-point shooter, a freak athlete, a lockdown defender, and a good passer. And then we could, it's going to be a debate between him and Luka. So yeah, that's what I'm feeling.
I think Luka's got the the best 3D dribble. Like he can break down an opponent in 3 dribbles. Like you can see him do his thing and then step back and pop that 3.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he's got. He's really sneaky. Jaw is more like he's coming at you. Like he's coming at you with that athleticism. He's gonna dunk it on you. So
no fear.
And Steph Curry's just amazing. He's just amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Even with what's going on with the drama with Golden State, I still think they're gonna be a contender this year.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Not a doubt. I guess I'll be the odd man out because we all chose different players. I'm gonna go with Ja.
Okay.
So I like Ja because his style of play is just infectious, right? You know, like he really when he came into the league, like that Memphis Grizzlies team, they were okay, but I feel like with his style of play and the way that he just comes in and just like, okay, I'm gonna rip your head off every single night. The way that he plays, he gets the entire team to play that way, and just the coaching staff has already solidified that kind of identity within this basketball team that makes them just fun to watch, and they're going to be great for years to come. Like they're growing. They had I had them as a sleeper last year, right? Yeah. As a possible if they got the right matchup, they could win it type. And I still every year they play, as long as everybody's healthy, I'm gonna have them as the right matchup. They could run through the West, and that's just a very strong possibility because Ja's only gonna get better. The young players are only gonna get better. Like it's just Jaren Jackson, Dylan Brooks. They're all just gonna get better. And and then they keep adding all these nice young pieces and young core to it, and they're just going to keep getting better. This is how you build a team. This is how you take a team that's young and you really create a winning culture within that team. They all look like they're having fun every time they get on the court, so that's just going to be infectious. That's kind of what you see when you look at those great teams like the Golden State Warriors.
Yes.
They all look they're having fun. It's all infectious. Curry hits a 3 and everybody starts dancing. You know what I mean? Not even just that, but just the camaraderie, the type of identity that team has is kind of what the Memphis Grizzlies are kind of mimicking in a way. So I love that team. I love Ja.
Yeah.
They are actually just one player away from a championship. They just need another big, I think, that would help them with the pick and roll. And that can help them with the jump shot from the pick and pop and stuff.
Yeah.
Ooh, man,
one thing I will say quickly about Ja, and just to tap onto your point, Chris, is somebody he reminds me a lot of in the way he leads and inspires his teammates and just builds this chemistry of his D Rose. Because D Rose was the guy that was going all out when he's trying to make a layup. Like if he has to jump into somebody's the big's body and go sliding on the floor to get 2 points to help his team, he'll help his team that way. If he's going to dive on the floor to get a loose ball, even though he's the best player on the team, he's going to do that. And he inspires a level of trust and chemistry and respect that comes from Ja, and Ja plays the same way. Ja destroys his body in the playoffs. He's going to the rim after rim after rim, and he's attacking the bigs. He's got a lot of respect and team chemistry that comes from Ja's leadership and just leadership through example that Ja is just gifted at, and it's really unique.
He's averaging. I'm looking at the Basketball Reference. Hopefully, they give us a nice little sponsorship down the road here. But he's averaging 32 points so far this season with 6 assists and close to 7 assists. Like he's having an amazing season so far.
Yeah,
he's definitely up there with the MVP right now.
Yeah. Couldn't agree
Can we start
more.
the MVP chance yet? MVP.
No.
MVP.
Yeah, he's keeping. Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. You go ahead, buddy.
Okay, he's keeping the Grizzlies afloat without Jaren Jackson and Dylan Brooks. That's how impressive it should be. Those are 2 starters and good players. That's all I had to say.
Didn't Dylan Brooks get suspended for something, and that's why he's sitting out right now, or is he?
I don't know. Actually,
I thought he got in trouble from the playoffs. I'm not sure, but I don't know if he's.
Oh, is he still in trouble from that?
I think so. That's why I think he's suspended. Also, checking on the Basketball Reference for Luka, he's doing 36.3. He's doing 36.3 points per game, and he's got 9.5 rebounds with 9.3 assists from the Basketball Reference website.
That's Luka,
it's definitely going to be a close. It's definitely going to be a close one. 36.3. Well, you got to think about this though. He has a lamp, a charger, a credit card, and a couple crumpled up pieces of paper on his team. So, I mean, you expect him to drop 36.4. I mean, Christian Wood is nice. Spencer Dinwiddie is, he's okay. I mean, but it's not any, like, he doesn't have a true second in command. So, of course, he's gonna take the scoring load off of everybody else. So, that's just my opinion on it.
Do you know what his career average is from the Basketball Reference website? It is 26 points per game.
Oh, like, he is crazy. Killing it already.
10 already.
Yeah.
I'm gonna disagree with you, Chris. I think even though he doesn't have a great number 2 or a great, solid 3, I feel like they have a lot of really good winning pieces over there. Really good role players that understand what they do. They got Dorian Finney-Smith, who's a really good 3-and-D wing. They got Spencer Dinwiddie, and they got Tim Hardaway, knows his job. They got Maxi Kleber at the center position, so they can space it out for the 3, and Christian Wood they just added. And Jason Kidd, you know what I mean, is a phenomenal coach. So even though I would agree with, like, the main point is he doesn't have a 2, they still have a lot of good role player pieces. That's my only pushback a little bit.
So I guess go ahead.
Sorry, they do need bench players, though. If you're going to win a championship, you need a bench. You can't just have 5. You're like, for example, look at the Lakers right now. You can't have just a 5. You need a bench.
Gosh.
Oh, I think I hit a soft spot here.
Lakers, man.
Oh my gosh, I don't want to get into that right now.
Just as a Celtics fan, just watching the Lakers just suffer right now, it makes me feel so nice. Like when I watch them and I watch them lose to the Timberwolves. It makes me feel like I just get a smile. I don't smile much, but man, it's just like that.
They lost to the Gobstopper and the Timberwolves.
We totally went off topic, but I'm just saying, your Lakers, whoever is supporting the Lakers this year, you better find another team. I've been through it with the Knicks. That's why I'm with Celtics right now. I think we're contenders this year. But the Lakers, man, they're done. I would clean house. I would even go so far as trading LeBron James because he's at his peak right now. He's going to get a lot of trade value. I would trade all 3.
That's not a bad idea.
That's not a bad idea at all.
That's not a bad idea at all.
Yeah,
I think
you get a lot of young pieces.
Go ahead.
No, I get a lot of young pieces. All I'm saying, supporting what your thought process is.
True, yeah, and that's what they want to do. But I feel like they still like. I think if they trade LeBron, AD, and Rush, just moving all 3 of those people, all 3 of them, and just starting over, I think we'd be giving Rob Pelinka too much credit because I feel like he's just not that smart.
True.
Yeah. I don't even know why he's still a GM. I don't even know why they're
That's what I'm saying.
Me either.
That's what I'm saying.
They got guys like Matt Ryan getting minutes. He's a G leaguer. They got Austin. What's that one guy? He's starting Austin.
Reeves?
He's a G leaguer. He can't guard anybody.
They can't
shoot either.
They look like they're skipping rocks rather than shooting jump shots out there. That's what they're doing when you watch the Lakers.
Yes.
It's just like and when Russell Westbrook, he's got that. I don't know who his trainer is, but fire him. I would fire him because I see him do like these elbow jump shots, and he tries to go for the bank shots. Those are impossible shots to take. Just shoot a normal jump shot, man. He looks like Cinderella, like a broken down Cinderella shooting a jump shot. You see how his legs go like this every time he shoots? And he just goes up. It's like a space rocket, just go like that.
Yeah, the man hasn't been able to shoot for so long.
Yeah, but to be fair, though, right? Russ normally knocks down the bank shots. Like when he was in Oklahoma City, that's his bread and butter.
When
he can't shoot 3, so he used to come down and knock down mid range. Oh, you're right. You're right.
When
that was his bread and butter. Was past tense.
I think Russell Westbrook should be the template in the warning story for anybody that relies too much on their athleticism in the NBA. If you don't develop your skill, you're not going to age gracefully. And Russell Westbrook's having issues.
Would you guys have a problem with Russell Westbrook if he wasn't making $46 of $47 million? Like if he was just making $4 or $5 million and he was just coming in doing it?
No.
Would you guys be like going like would the media be really going at him and stuff? But he's making like a lot of money. I think that's why he's getting a lot of the negative responses right now. He's just not cutting it.
I mean, I guess we're considered media, But for us, I mean, well, I can't speak for Jason, but at least for me, I don't really care how much he's making. I just want him to play basketball good and help the Lakers win. True. I mean, because he's a big name. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, Carmelo Anthony is a big name. You know what I'm saying? Like, when he was on the team and stuff like that last year, I mean, like, it don't matter how much he's getting paid. I just want him to help win. You know what I mean? Because I know what he's capable of because I've seen what he used to do. And I've seen what he did in Portland. Russ, I seen what he did in Oklahoma City. I didn't like what he did too much in Houston. I kind of like what he did in Washington. Hate what he's doing here. So it's like, I mean, with the Lakers. So it's like, I don't care how much you're getting paid. Just play basketball and help win games. Mm-hmm. Don't be a detriment on the court.
What team do you think he would fit? I think he would fit great with the Knicks. The Knicks should give up some first-round draft picks. Maybe go down there and do something. Like, I don't see any other teams that would take him right now.
As you said, a good fit for him. He has to be on a team where
has to be their contender.
Alpha. Yeah.
Well, not like an alpha, but they have to be at least trying to win. Because one team that I've heard people talk about is the Pacers, and I don't see it. I wouldn't want to stunt Tyrese Halliburton's growth by putting him at point guard, and you're not going to really even do much in the playoffs. It has to be a team with shooting that's ready to win right now. If John Wall wasn't in the Clippers, I would say Russell Westbrook to the Clippers because they got plenty of shooting. They got all the mid-range guys. They just need a passing point guard that can attack the rim, and his lack of shooting is going to affect them. That's the type of situation that would work for him. I also expect more from him as a defender. I mean, if he's not really averaging 30 a night, and really, attacking the basket and like having to do that as his role as an offensive player, he needs to be putting more effort in defensive end because he's just okay right now.
That's true. That's true. And I feel like he's just such a detriment on the court, right? Because, he's turning... I don't even know if he's even turning the ball over. It's just that he's playing hero ball and making the wrong decision. It's like you have zero IQ. Zero basketball IQ. Not zero IQ. Zero basketball IQ. Like, I think it was last week, I think he was in Portland. They had a chance to win that game. And it's like... And he went for a 2-for-1. Cleanly misses it, like, terribly. Yeah. And then they're down the other way, and then they end up losing that game. And I'm just like, why would you do that? Where was your antennas at that you decided that was a great play to make? Yeah. And then he comes off the bench and he's like, I'm hurt now because I'm not used to coming off the bench, or he comes off the bench and is upset. Like, you have to understand that there are roles to be played, and you're not a primary ball handler. We want the ball in LeBron James' hand because he's averaging 25.8 points, 9.4 rebounds, 7.2 assists, and you, Russ, are only averaging 12.3 points coming off the bench. You look like a shell of yourself comparatively. So we don't want you to take these shots. We'd rather LeBron or AD take these shots because we know that there's a higher chance of them making it versus turning the ball over and destroying our team in the process.
Yeah. Well, AD when he's healthy, when he's there in the games, because it seems like
he's made of glass, though.
Yeah. When he got injured that game, when I was watching, I don't know who he was playing against, but when he dropped, I was like, oh man, it's over. He's going to make it up and down the court. Yeah, he's going to say he's good because the owner's there watching. It's opening night, but he's not. He is not coming back for a bit. And it showed against Minnesota.
Clippers.
Look what happened with Minnesota. Rudy Gobert just ate him up in the post. There was nobody that could do anything.
Not Gobstopper.
Oh God, it's unreal. I don't know. I have a question. Who would win in the jump shot contest? Russell Westbrook or Ben Simmons?
Russ.
Russ
go hit one.
That's true.
Ben won't even attempt it.
Ben is
in a tough spot.
I think that's probably going to be the next subject here. I watched Kyrie Irving literally yell at him to shoot the ball. And he passed it off. He's like, shoot the ball. And Ben's like,
yeah.
He's like terrified. It's like basketball. Oh no. Like,
what is this?
I don't understand. Sorry, I don't understand on how, like, this whole Ben Simmons thing makes me crazy. How can you play in the NBA without a jump shot? You're 6'10". I just saw him play against Dallas, and you couldn't post up Luka. Like, why couldn't you just post? You're 6'10". Luka's like 6'6", 6'7". Yeah. Just post him up. Work on your post game.
Yeah.
This guy's like, I don't know. I feel bad for the Brooklyn Nets, and I honestly just I don't know anymore. I'm good. I'm good with my rant.
I feel like it's a natural transition to the Nets.
Yeah. I feel like for the Nets and Ben Simmons, I think that their problem started, you know what I mean, with the trade. I think it started even prior to that, you know, because they picked up a problem that was already plaguing the Sixers. Your team tells you, not even your team, your star player and your coach says, I don't know if we could win with you. That makes you go into, I guess, a depression of some sort, or I don't know what happens at that point, and you shut down. You're like, I don't want to play for you guys anymore. I don't feel comfortable here. I'm working on this, working on that, and then you get traded, and then you still refuse to play. So you out for 2 years now, and then you're like, and you don't get any better. We the whole time he was with the Sixers, at least just stepping back a little bit further, we were buying into, oh, he's working on his jump shot. He's shooting in this gym. He's working on it. And then he doesn't take a three. He's working on his jump shot. We see it a little bit. He's working on his jump shot with the Nets. He doesn't shoot a three. Doesn't take a jump shot. And it just seems like he's not a worker. Like he's not trying. I don't know. Like, where did Rookie of the Year Ben go? I don't know if he's still there somewhere.
He started being a Jenner, man. That's what happened.
I guess, and he sucked his back.
You just started.
They Space Jammed Ben.
I just want to step in here. Do you know how many? Okay, guess how many 3-pointers Ben Simmons has hit in his career? Just
5.
Guess. Well, that's just
2.
Well, you're the Wikipedia there, Jason. So
Me?
I really, yeah. So
got
there's
it right?
5. Yeah, you got it 5.
No.
5. He hit 5 3-point shots out of 35 attempts throughout his whole career.
Dag.
Wow. I'm surprised he shot it 34 times. That's the more impressive stat.
I'm not surprised you got it. You're like the Wikipedia of basketball, dude. Every time I come on here, you got some crazy stat.
5. That's crazy. That's a good guess, though. 5.
Yeah,
I would never thought that. I was like, maybe he would have shot it like 40 times and made like maybe 2. Because I remember one time he did make it in preseason. Are they counting that too? Because I remember that shot in the Sixers erupted. Oh, really?
No, 5. He hit 5 threes in 35 attempts in 280 games. Out of 280 games.
That's terrible.
And that was brought to you by the Basketball Reference website.
Pay us.
Love it, Darren. Keep going.
Now.
Right.
It's about getting that sponsorship, man. We gotta start getting some of that money, man. None of us are going to be working. All right.
It's true.
Oh man. Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons for me is. I don't think we've ever seen in the past 10 to 15 years a better case of mentally how much your mental can affect your basketball game. Because, dear goodness, if we tried to build the perfect point forward, Ben Simmons would come up out of that computer. Okay, he has all the gifts. He's strong. He's 6'10", lanky, blessed with great vision, great quicks. He's a perfect fit on defense. He's flexible. He doesn't have tight hips. Like he's literally perfect. Like no one, I would have drafted him number 1 in the draft too. Like he's perfect. But there's nothing skill wise. There's just nothing. And then on top of that, he doesn't have the mental fortitude. It's a complete downward spiral of, because at the very least
he doesn't have the mentality of a champion at all.
Great defender. Because, okay, the offense sucks. You can have 4 points a game, but if you're in the DPOY conversation, they're going to let you get away with some things to grow into this role and to get your confidence back. But it's like he's overthinking everything. It's like he's overthinking everything twice, and it's just he doesn't just play. He doesn't just react right now. Everything's up in here, and he just has an issue with whatever mentally is just not letting him free out of his own game. But, also from the other aspect, I think people are babying him a little too much. Like I watched him in an interview with somebody, but I watched him and the one thing I saw was Ben Simmons is not a guy that works on his game. So it's the question of, does he have the mental fortitude to get better? Because once you work on something and try to get better at something, you develop this toughness and this mental toughness and confidence from actually working on your game. And my gut tells me that that's the issue. So that's what I think of Ben Simmons. Darren, what do you think?
I think you're exactly pinpoint with the mental part of it. I think he's got all the skills and stuff, but there's something mental about why he's not hitting jump shots or he's not playing his game. So I can tell you from like playing basketball in college and stuff that from what he did in Philly, the next season or in my off season, I would just be in that gym. I wouldn't be nothing else. And then the season coming up, I would prove everyone wrong. I wouldn't just do what he did. What he did and went to New Jersey and started crying about Philly. The way he did it was it was a bad look, and he's paying for it right now with what's happening in Brooklyn.
Yeah,
he's averaging 5.6
crazy
points per game, 6 rebounds, and only 6.8 assists in 5 games. His season average is 15 points a game. Like he's dropping, like that's 10 points right off the bat. And you're 6'10" point guard. Like I don't understand why. Like I said, watching him against Dallas, he should be in the post. Like why is he outside? You can't shoot, so go in the post and go at Luka. That's what he should have done. That's what I would have done. I would have done 4 out, 1 in. I even would have taken the big guy out and just would have just banged Luka the whole game.
I'm surprised, yeah.
But they want to shoot threes. That's what they want to do in the NBA now. It's like, oh, hey, look, there's a mismatch. No, we're just going to go shoot a 3. It's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
So
Ben, you have somebody like Ben who can't shoot. Well, you know what I mean. What are you supposed to do? Like that's the same problem in Philly. Was like you can't do too much. He basically just clogging the lane. And you got Joel Embiid down there, but instead of Joel Embiid, now you got Kyrie and KD on the wing. So like you just looking around like, who am I going to pass the ball to? Because you're too afraid to take a layup.
What about since we're talking about people who can't shoot, Zion Williamson? Like this year, he has been a monster, but he cannot shoot. Like he's a bully in the inside, but when they leave him on the outside, the guy can't shoot. He's going to start turning, and he's gotten so big. Like when he gets injured now, it's scary. Like I feel bad for he's got so much potential, man. But they're going to figure it out soon. They're just going to leave him out and say, hey, listen, try and shoot, and he's not going to be able to do it. He's going to be in the same class as Ben Simmons soon. Sorry for going off topic there. I just thought
it's okay. It's a natural transition.
Yeah.
With Zion, what do you guys think about Zion's so far this season? 2
seasons ago? I think it was the season he came into the league. He was knocking down a couple shots. So I kind of have faith that Zion's a worker. You know, I feel like he's a worker, and I feel like he'll work on his game, and he'll develop his shot, and he'll get out of Ben Simmons' range quickly, and he'll eventually overtake him. I think that he won't be that one guy who just depends on his athleticism. I think he'll be able to fall back on something else. I just see him that way.
Yeah, I think Zion, and we talk about the mental aspect of Ben Simmons. The mental aspects of Zion Williamson is the dude is out there to dominate. Okay, It doesn't matter who it is. He is trying to go through you, around you, over you. He's trying to take your soul, and it's amazing to watch. It is absolutely. I love watching that guy play. He's so dominant. Pelicans, they're going to be good to watch this year. Good defensive team. BI, CJ McCollum, they're going to make the playoffs. It'll be a really solid
team. As long as Zion Williamson's healthy. Like, as long as he's healthy, the sky's the limit. Yeah. So I'm going to hit you guys with another quiz from the Basketball Reference. How many 3-pointers did Zion Williamson hit so far in his career?
Well, he hasn't played a lot of games, so I'm gonna go with 50.
50?
50?
What do you say there, Chris?
Yeah, 50.
I'm gonna say, let's say 25.
So he's only hit 16 threes out of 48 attempts, and he's played 88 games in three seasons. He's played 88 games. It's 82 seasons a game. And I would hate to be an owner paying these guys this money. Be like, oh, you know what? Just take the year off. We're just going to pay you $15 million to do nothing.
Yeah.
Look at John Wall. John Wall sat with whatchamacallit, and they kept on paying him like $40-something million. Like, it must be nice. You just sit there and be like, oh, man, I'm not going to play this year. Just pay me my $40 million. Or be like Ben Simmons also. Like, we're back on him. With like, I'm not playing this year because I can't hit a layup or a jump shot. Can you pay me my $12 or $20 million from Philly? He got that too.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
He did.
I'm glad you brought up John Wall because I actually do want to talk about the Clippers and John Wall.
Clippers
So-
are
Nice transition there.
Yes.
Excellent.
John Wall looks really good on that team. When we talked about it earlier, like we've been saying for a while now that they need a passer on that team because they have none, right? And Kawhi and Paul George are scorers, but they're never going to be great passers. And I think John Wall is getting like 24 minutes a game, and he's passing really well. I think he should start the first 6 minutes and finish the last 6 minutes of the game, because when you have Reggie Jackson out there with Paul George and Kawhi and Zubac, there's nobody to pass the ball. You know what I mean? There's nobody to attack the rim, and there's nobody to kick out to the shooters that they have on the floor. So I think Reggie Jackson should come off the bench and John Wall should start. But the Clippers are top 2, top 3 best team in the NBA right now when Kawhi is healthy, obviously. I'm extremely high on them with John Wall. Man, John Wall cures a lot of their issues and skepticism they used to have with him. And he's going through the Al Horford process. So basically, Al Horford was sitting on the Oklahoma City Thunder's bench for a few years there, not getting any minutes because they wanted to develop the young guys. And then he goes to the Celtics. We'll look at that on paper, and like Al Horford's like 34 or 35. He's still going to be slow. He's not going to be as athletic than he used to be. But he watched him play, and he was really athletic and moved really well and didn't have as much tread on the tires. And I think I'm seeing the same thing with John Wall, where he sat on the bench for the Houston Rockets, and he's really athletic, much more than I thought he would be. So I'm excited for the Clippers, man. So what are you guys thinking about that?
I personally think with watching them when they played against the Lakers, their bench
Yes.
is very deep. Like when they,
Oh
they
my
can
goodness.
bring off, they got for every position on there, they're deep. And also Paul George seems like he's just waiting to, like he's a volcano, is just waiting to explode here.
Yes.
So I think you're going to be seeing him this year in the playoffs go pretty far. And with John Wall, so far in the past 4 games, he's averaging 15 points a game, 2 rebounds, and 4 assists. His career average is 19.
Yeah,
And
that's
And
nice.
I just like
not
to say
bad.
that was from the basketball reference. Chris,
Love
go
it.
ahead.
Man, this Clippers team is really good. I think that
Yeah.
they're very soon, right? And I think it's probably going to come into this year because Lakers are doing so terrible. They're not going to be the team in the basement of the crypto center anymore. Or is it crypto? What is it called now? Crypto
I
center.
have
This year,
no clue.
it's crypto something, but we'll see how much
Crypto
money
arena?
we'll throw in it for next year. We'll see.
Right? The crypt arena, the crypt.
Yeah.
They're not going to be the team in the basement of the crypt anymore. They're coming upstairs because they're one of the better teams in the NBA. I definitely agree with Jason. They're a top 2, top 3 team. Especially and then also with Darren's point, they're so deep and they've been deep for a
Yes.
very long time. And like the thing is though that they just always run into the wrong matchup or somebody gets hurt. If they can stay healthy this season, they're a team to look out for in the NBA Finals for sure.
Yeah.
Well, last year Kawhi was injured, and it was just Paul George and with whatever they assembled. Now with this year, I think they got more with the bench and everything. I personally think they're gonna be definitely a sleeper this year in the from what they were doing last year in the playoffs.
Yeah.
They'll go far
I agree.
as long as they're healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Main thing.
Pray for
Yeah.
John Wall's health because he always gets hurt. Knock on wood.
Yeah, and that $40-something million contract that he's getting this year. So just knock on wood on that one. Man, I don't. These salaries. I look on some of these salaries, and I just like Steph Curry, who's deserving. He's making close to $50 million this year, which is crazy.
Crazy. Yeah.
So
Chris, you can transition.
Okay, so I think this is a good way to transition into the East, and we'll go right into We Bleed Wine and Gold. The Cavs right now are 4-1. Thoughts?
Yeah.
I honestly, I don't even watch the Cavaliers. To be quite honest with you, I'm actually surprised they are.
Oh my
4-1.
gosh!
We don't even get that in Canada here. When they say the Cavaliers, they just cancel it. It's a blackout. They don't even have it. Like even when I didn't even know. But with what I've seen from their team in the offseason, looks like they're going more younger. And Kevin Love's actually starting to play more like a floor general with the younger guys and stuff. You can see. I watched a little bit of the game before I passed out and went to sleep because they were pretty boring. But yeah, I'm glad they're having 4-1 this year. But we'll see what happens comes around halfway through the season because they always have a good good beginning sometimes. So,
yeah.
Oh my
what do you
god.
think, Jason or Chris?
I think I'm pretty high on them. I think they're going to be a 4 or 5 seed in the East. I really like what they have in the front court with Evan Mobley and Jared Allen, big size, and Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell's so special offensively, but I cannot underrate how much better he's made a jump defensively this year. He's really attacking things. He's really putting in a lot of effort. Last year, you could really, see him taking plays off, and I'm so happy to see him at least effort's half the battle on defense, and he's at least making that improvement. And Caris LeVert had a 41-point game. I was really about to watch that. It was the Boston Celtics versus the Cleveland Cavaliers, my next game on my schedule. And I can't wait to see that game because Caris LeVert's really a bucket. And, they have a lot of scoring options. They're a good defense, and they're a complete basketball team. So, the Cavs are going to be a good team, man.
Well, before you start, Chris, I would just like to say to Jason that your Cavs are going to lose to my Celtics.
No.
Oh, they won.
They won?
I think they won.
Got
Did they win?
I'll
check.
Listen here, I'm in Canada. We don't get much basketball in here other than the Raptors, all right?
They won 132-123.
Oh my god, I should just take this off right now.
Caris LeVert had 41.
Oh my
the
god.
heartbreak in his eyes.
Oh my god. Well, that will be it for this jersey. That's it. You won't be seeing the Celtics jersey. I am not a fan of the Cavaliers. And I usually that's okay. This was a great jersey, but it's gone. You will not see this next episode. You know what I would like to see next episode is that we get sponsored by some jerseys so we can wear jerseys the next one, huh?
Oh, that'd be dope. Yeah.
Yes, give me a Cavalier jersey.
Sorry, Chris. What do you think about the Cavaliers before I just went on my little rant here?
No, you're absolutely fine. So I did a little digging, right, for the Cavaliers, and so Evan Mobley right now is averaging 15.8 points, 5.8 rebounds, and 2 assists. Donovan Mitchell is averaging 31 points, 4.8 rebounds, and 6.4 assists. And Caris LeVert, who just dropped 41, is averaging 17.4 points, 3.6 rebounds, and 6.4 assists. Now, if you know the Cavaliers, you know there's a name that I did not mention. Jason, what name is that? Darius Garland. Darius Garland has not even hit his stride yet on the season and started averaging those big numbers. So this is 3 of the 4 top players on that Cavaliers team. And you don't even have the 4th player right now even dropping 20 plus points yet. So this team is really, 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 really scary in the East. Because if you already have you already have Evan Mobley, Donovan Mitchell, and Caris LeVert playing well, and you don't even have Darius Garland because he got hurt, and you don't have him really hitting his stride yet, it's scary. It's scary hours in the East.
Yeah.
It's scary when they beat Boston. That's what happens. They're scary.
The one thing that I wanted to say is that for Cleveland Cavaliers fans out there, however good we look in the regular season, do not overly expect things. 0 fans. You got 2 right here. Whatever we do in the regular season, do not expect too much in the playoffs because young teams go through the first year through the playoffs. There's a different atmosphere. The playoffs are completely different, and a huge learning curve. And unless we're going to facing the Charlotte Bobcats or Charlotte Hornets, we're not going to have a chance winning the playoffs because they're just young. So don't get overly hype about it.
I think you guys should be sitting here and doing having a parade right now for having a winning season because you will not be having this towards the end. I'd be lucky if by next week we talk about this. I think when we bring Cavaliers up, it's going to be next topic. That's what we're going to be talking about. It'll be 4 and 10 or something like that.
Don't do us.
They'll win more than 45 games. They'll win.
Okay, fair.
I'll say that. I'll stand on that.
I think I think they should just scrap it and try to go for that big guy that's coming into the league next year. That draft pick that's 8 feet
Victor
tall that I see blocking everyone in Europe or wherever he's playing right now.
Yeah,
that's what I would do.
I think he's going to be in Utah.
Yeah, or the Lakers. Trend continues.
If they trade everything away, they probably can get it. Can't get that pick.
Lakers are going to do a lot more than just trade this season. They're going to need to bring back Magic Johnson. That's what they're going to need to do. They're going to need to get a 10-day contract for Magic. See if James Worthy can come out there because he goes crazy on the announcers. You should get James Worthy for a 10-day too. Bring back the old Michael Cooper. I bet you can still hit a couple 3-pointers. Get him back.
It just needs somebody to make a consistent shot.
It's like you could play a drinking game with the Lakers the way they shoot. People can be they're going to be in rehab by the end of the week playing with these guys. Like every time you see them shoot, it's just like, is he going to hit it? Boom! Like when Russell Westbrook shoots it, it's just, I don't know. I'm going to say again, if he ever listens to this podcast or whatever, he needs to fire his trainer. I would fire him.
Fire the trainer. No, he got a new 3-point shot. Remember, I saw it on Instagram or something like that. He's been working in the gym. He got a new 3-point shot. He won around the world with LeBron James, AD. He won a 3-point contest with them, and then he comes into the league and stinks up the place. That's how it goes.
A lot of editing on that Instagram thing. I think he took like one shot, and that was like for the whole practice. And then the next day they did it, and then they just put it all towards the whole month, and they just edited it because honestly, he couldn't shoot. It's unbelievable. I just don't understand. Like, you need a jump shot in today's NBA. If you don't have it, you're not going to be playing. Period. You need to have it. Perimeter defense and a jump shot, which is something he does not have. And I hate going back to Russell Westbrook, but just a disappointment this year.
Yeah.
But I love it because I'm a Boston fan. I love to see them suffer. Lakers fan.
It's fine. Cavs got one over on the Boston Celtics. Anyway.
I'm gonna go and burn this after this podcast. I'm actually gonna post it live. It's gonna be like in a barrel out with the Coyotes.
Staying in the East here, Giannis remains undefeated through week 2. They won tonight. They're like, I think 5-0. We're one of those 4 or 5-0, and Giannis is playing phenomenal. 34.5 points, 13.3 rebounds, 6.3 assists so far. What do you guys think?
You go ahead, Darren.
I think he's in talk for obviously MVP, but him and the Joker, Nikola Jokic, are the 2 best players in the NBA right now. I think they're like, if you watch them play, I think Giannis is a little bit higher than Jokic right now because just with his overall game. But man, he's definitely the Bucks. I think the Bucks are definitely going to be a contender for the championship again this year.
Sure. Yeah. I remember talking about Giannis during the offseason, how he really improved in FIBA and the Euro League because he had to shoot the more mid-range shots because the way their defense is structured overseas is different than the NBA. And I feel like we're starting to slowly see him shoot 4 or 5 shots from the mid-range and start to pick his spots a little bit more, and it's looking really effective. And his shooting form is getting better. Like, the arc on his basketball seems to be a little bit better as well. So I'm really excited about those aspects, and I love watching Giannis play. I think the Bucks really could use a 4th shot creator on the team because after Drew, Chris Middleton, and Giannis, it gets really pretty weak after that. They got standstill 3-point shooters, but just nothing that can really create for himself. Sure. But, they're going to win a lot of games in the regular season. I expect 1-2 seed in the East. I expect them to do really well in the playoffs. But teams like the Boston Celtics, if the head coach can be like what Ime was last year, I think the Boston Celtics are the better team in the East. They got more talent on their team, and I think that they're gonna be good. That's what I'm thinking about Milwaukee. What are you thinking, Chris?
I definitely think Milwaukee's going to be winning. I think the East right now with everything in there, as far as like the Bucks, the Sixers, the Cavs, they're just too strong in the East, and I think that the Bucks can really take the East again. True. I think they're looking very strong. Giannis looks great per usual. The team looks great. That's just really as long as Giannis is great, then that team is great. That's just how the team is constructed. It's not too many teams like that that's like constructed directly around their star player. Like there's a 1, 2, and 3, but really the 2 and 3, if they like are additions, but it's really about Giannis playing at his best every night. So he has to drop like 30, 34, 35 points a night for them to be a successful team. So I really just think that they're gonna run through the East. I don't see it any differently. The only thing that could happen really to like shake up the East, and I'm gonna knock on wood every time I say this, because I want to see good basketball consistently. If somebody gets hurt, other than that, the East is going to be very powerful, very strong, and Giannis probably will rule the East for a long time to come.
Yeah. Do you guys think he'll win the MVP this year?
I got Ja.
I think statistically speaking, I think Luka's going to have such a crazy season that it's going to go to him.
I'm going to go with the Joker. Because I want him to win the MVP award 3 times in a row. Because it's been rare. No one's done it since Larry Bird, Bill Russell, and I think Wilt Chamberlain, to my knowledge. Mm-hmm. It all depends on how Jamal Murray goes.
True. Yeah.
So.
It's true.
Then voters, they don't really know basketball a lot. So then this voter fatigue, they'll be like, I'm tired of voting for Joker. What about this new exciting guy right here? And then they'll just vote for him instead. So like that's why nobody's seen like 3 of them. And then the most we've ever seen was back to back. Wasn't it? Wait, was it Curry was back to he was a back to back unanimous MVP? Or something like that? Or
I think his first time was unanimous and the second time wasn't. And I think James Harden had a really good year, second year.
Also with Nash too. Nash did that back to back too. I also think. But,
I think that's how much they do because then they get tired of you.
Yeah, awesome. Or Bron and MJ would have had like 6.
Yeah, true. Yeah. True. Very
MJ.
true.
MJ, yeah, and I think MJ won 6 of them. No, he didn't. No. That was 6 Finals MVPs he won.
Yeah, I think Karl Malone won some MVPs during that era too.
That's crazy. 6 NBA Finals and 6 MVPs. Like that's crazy. Sorry with the off topic, but that's crazy.
It is. No, great.
That's why I think Michael Jordan
great accolades
better than LeBron James with that.
Oh my! Let's not start this. Alrighty. I mean, Darren, first you don't like PlayStation, you're Xbox. First you're an Xboxer, now you want to talk about the king of all kings, the goat of all goats. All right, what you got to?
What you got to walk down this road?
What you got against me? What you got against me? If you want to argue, let's argue.
I'm not arguing. I'm just saying a simple statement. I know this is the first episode, and I think we should honestly maybe do this for a whole episode where we actually talk about this, because this is going to drag out. If we're going to argue, this is going to drag out for a while, because I got the basketball reference here with me, and we can go through all stats, everything. So,
you know what? I'm
Let's just let it go. Let's just let it go.
I'm gonna spare you. You may just do that. All right.
Remember, this is my first episode, all right? I'd like to come back for the second one, okay?
It's okay that he disagrees. I
know. I respect Jordan. I ain't saying that I don't. I'm just saying that we all understand here, except for Darren, that LeBron is the greatest player of all time.
Well, I'm going to disagree with that, Chris.
I would just like to say
that LeBron's the greatest. We already talked about this.
Michael didn't need 30 seasons to do it. He did it within 20. LeBron James is going on his 30th season already? That's how long he's been.
His 20th season.
It seems like 30, man. He went to the pros when I went and started in high school. I feel old with this guy, man. It's his 30th year. It's like, what is he now? He's going to win the all-time winning record now, or scoring record? I would hope so. I think he's like doubled Kareem's seasons. I would hope he would win the all-time scoring record. But this is definitely another episode. We could go like this. I don't know.
Just one thing I'll say about the...
Sorry. Just play the Jordan challenge. That's all you got to do.
I know about Jordan. Believe me, I do. I just think that LeBron's better. But that's just me. Go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, Jay.
One thing that I'll say is I feel like the greatest of all time debate, I feel like it's more like there's a list of acceptable answers. So if somebody views basketball a different way, they're going to have a different answer on who the greatest basketball player of all time is. But there is a cutoff line where it's like, okay, you can't say Kobe is the greatest basketball player of all time because Mike does everything Kobe does, but better. You know what I mean? Like there's a list of guys who reasonable, people who reasonably view basketball can say, right? So that's why I'm like, well, if Darren wants to say LeBron isn't, that's fine. If he wants to say MJ is a reasonable answer. MJ dominated the sport in the 90s. MJ is probably the greatest in-air finisher, body control guy I've ever seen in my life. The way he's able to change midair is insane. He's best shooting guard defender of all time by a gazillion miles. Man, averaged like 35 in the regular season. Insane in the playoffs.
Yeah.
He has deficiencies passing wise, but he's the darn near perfect 2-guard if he's just focused on scoring and defense. You know what I mean? So, it's an acceptable answer. So is Kareem. There's guys that are acceptable answers. Wilt, you know what I mean?
Like
the way you view basketball. So that's my only thing.
Well, thank you, Jason, for making that point to Chris that Michael Jordan is a better player than LeBron James.
Oh no, I didn't mean to like that.
What I would say,
my God,
right,
is LeBron. It's okay.
Yeah, okay, yeah. See, exactly. See, but what I would say is like, I would definitely agree with what Jason said. Just more along the lines that that there are multiple different players, but as long I don't care who your GOAT is. Anybody out there, anybody on the podcast, as long as that your reasoning for GOATship is not rings. That if you have if you have a greater argument than rings, then I will accept anybody.
Or you've never watched rings. You've never watched them play anything more than a game or a highlight longer than 2 minutes.
Yeah,
right. Like you're only watching TikTok and Instagram reels, and you're not really watching anything. And that's your MVP or your GOAT for some reason. I don't trust your opinion.
Yeah, like when I ask people, like, who do you like? Who's the favorite basketball player of all time? I like Jordan. Well, why? Because I wear his shoes. Oh, well, that's great. That's awesome. It's just like
it's a lot of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Wilt, man, like Wilt's up there too. Since we're talking about GOATs, like 100-point game. I don't care if he was playing the so-called plumbers or construction workers. He had like 2 or 3 of them on. Bill Russell. He had to go against Bill Russell back in the day too. That was Bill Russell is by far, hands down, the best defensive player, I think, of basketball.
There it is.
I think
that is the argument. Finally, Darren, listen. I appreciate you so much.
Why?
Because everybody says Bill Russell is because he has 11 rings. That's why he's the greatest player. You finally made a credible argument. Not just no. I'm not talking about just period. But I'm saying like out of everybody, he said he's the greatest defensive player. That's actually true. That's true. I can see that.
I can see that.
That's a great argument.
Have you watched it? When you watch his games, like you see him on the defense and on the offense, he got about 10 points on the offense, but on the defense, he would grab like 20 to 40 rebounds a game. Like he wasn't doing it against chumps. Like there was guys like, think about Wilt Chamberlain when you're playing against like a 7-foot monster with a jump shot and very agile, athletic. It's crazy. Just thinking about those two playing back in their prime, and it's like I'm still speechless. With just like I watched them the other day. It's just like two monsters going at it. It's just like like a game of chess with them.
True. Yeah.
So,
and one thing I will say about Bill Russell, even though I'm not a huge Bill Russell fan, I feel like people know that. It's okay. One thing I will say is he is one of the greatest. How do I put this? Just plainly leaders ever to play basketball. Like the man was a heck of a leader. He was the emotional and mental leader of the Boston Celtics. Like there's stories of him taking the Wilt Chamberlain to his family's house to eat dinner with him just to butter him up before he plays him. Like every mental edge that you could possibly have for Bill Russell, he had. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He's a great leader. Like if we're trying to build a team and we have a lot of good guys, but we don't have anybody that's a leader. They might be good scorers. They might be individual good players, but we don't have a connective piece. Then Bill Russell is extremely valuable to your team. It's a big need for your team. And, he's just a great winner. Like even in college, like most people don't know what San Francisco is. Like San Francisco has not been relevant in basketball and for years. But he played at San Francisco and won national championships in San Francisco. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's impressive. Like, he's a winner. That's just what he is.
And also, Chris, also off the court, too, he was also with people's rights and doing stuff off the court for Like he sold all of his championship rings and everything like that for charity. So he was more of a humanitarian. I thought he was more of a humanitarian than a basketball player because what he did off the court, I think, was better than what he did on the court. I think like he did a lot off the court, amazing stuff.
Yeah.
So
Kareem kind of took that image too and went for that type of thing off the court too. He was kind of like that.
But Bill Russell's stats from the Basketball Reference are 15 points a game and 22 rebounds. That was his career average in 963 games. That's a double-double. Yeah. And do a double-double in the NBA, I don't care what anyone says. It's tough. It would be hard and legit. Sure. So, in any era.
Yeah. So, that's true, though. But, like, great. I love the argument, though, because, like, some people are like, oh, he has 11 rings, but greatest defensive player, greatest leader. Like, one of the greatest leaders. Like, I love those. Sure. Those are great points to argue that he could be a great player. Because when you look at his stats, especially when we're so used to 50 points, 60 points, 40 points, 30 points per game average for your career, when you see somebody with 15 points and 22 rebounds, you look at it a little bit different. I remember when we first seen him, we was like, stop the comparisons because he's not that great. It's just a ring. It's just the rings that you're talking about. But actually, he is a great defensive player, one of the greatest rebounders of all time, and it's true. He
had 49 rebounds in one game.
That's ridiculous.
I can tell you right now from I've dropped in high school 42 points and 46 rebound game in one game. Wow. And I can tell you right now, like those rebounds, it's tiring. So for him to grab 46 in a row, unbelievable.
It's insane.
Unreal.
Wow. 42 or 46.
Yeah, man. I actually have a paper clipping of it. It was the game. Sorry, off topic, but it was the game we were told in my high school that if we win this game, we get to go to GM Place and play on the Vancouver Grizzlies floor. So I was just like, boom, done. We're gonna have the greatest game of my life. So I ended up destroying this team, getting 42 points and 46 rebounds in the game, and I got it on a paper clipping too, so it's not like made up. But I actually did it. We went to GM Plays. Long story short, it was amazing. But yeah, 46 rebounds is amazing. It's hard to do. It's tough. Sorry, off topic, but
no, it's okay.
Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, 46 times.
Yeah, man. It's not like it's like you should do it when you're younger, older. Oh my God, 46 times. And after a while, it was just like, oh my God, I'm grabbing another rebound. Oh my God, here we go, another rebound. Oh my God, I'm going to go over you and grab another rebound. Oh, and then I remember like after I was like, well, how many rebounds did I get? She goes, oh, you got 46. I'm like, what? And she sees, and I see these little things going, doot doot 5, doot 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 5, doot 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 5. So. But I'll send you guys the clipping just to show you, like, if I find it tomorrow, I'll send it to you, but it's legit.
That'd be cool.
Yet again, off topic, but I just saw 46 rebounds for a career high, and I was just like, wow, that's impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
It is.
I could talk basketball all day.
This is a good time to go forward into the current day, and we'll talk about Jason's man crush team, the 76ers.
Oh, wait. I thought we were talking about the Atlanta Hawks. You teased me. It's all your fault. What are you talking about? Okay, go ahead. Don't put the badness on me, okay?
Jason. You know this is your favorite team.
What?
Maxey dropped 44 points, though, so go ahead. We can celebrate that, right?
Is there some other Jason that you know? Like, what are you talking about?
Jason. Every time we talk about 76ers, because James Harden is on there.
Okay.
Should I bring the foul footage up? Should I bring the foul footage?
Embiid won't be up there much longer. You can see the chemistry. They're not clicking right now. So one of the two are going to be going.
Ooh, if Embiid... Where would Embiid end up is a good question. If he was to leave.
Goodness. Anywhere?
I would send him to the Lakers.
Go anywhere.
I would send the package. I would send Russell Westbrook and AD to Philly, and I would send Embiid to the Lakers.
I'd send all 11. All 11 players of the LeBron for Embiid.
They still won't have any shooting, but look, Embiid, though.
We didn't have any in the first place.
It all depends which Embiid's going to be healthy. Like, is he going to be healthy for the season?
Yeah.
How many times has that guy fallen already in the past, 5-6 games? It's crazy. Every time he gets the ball, goes up for a layup, he falls. Goes up for a jump shot, he falls.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, my thing is, I know people are talking about Doc Rivers getting fired, and I'd be fine with that. I feel like, he's kind of lost his touch coaching wise, and there's a lot of things in the past that I've been like, he's not as good as a coach as people think. He's just like a below average coach. But I feel like the 76ers issue is they have no identity. Like, they don't know if they want to be a low post team. They don't know if they want to be a perimeter oriented, we're going to push the pace team. They just kind of play. And it just kind of happens, and whatever happens, happens. And they suck at defense. Like, when you put James Harden on the floor, Tobias Harris, and they can't guard anybody. They can't. It's basketball, even though James Harden had a really good start for the first 2 games and put up great stats. I didn't really think it was going to continue. I think now he's averaging like 22 or something like that. It's kind of back to what he usually is. And this team is just no identity. They don't have a way that they play. It's stagnant. And there's no pecking order. There's just kind of nothing. And Tobias Harris is going downhill too.
That's their future, Philly, right here. That's their future.
Yeah.
I don't know. You can see the chemistry with Embiid and Harden on the court. I've watched a couple games now, especially with them playing with Toronto. You'll see Embiid wide open, and Harden's not even looking at him, and it looks like he's getting a little bit agitated by it. They're not playing as a team, just like Jason was saying.
It's true. Yeah. What do you think, Chris?
I feel like they just haven't had the chance to truly play as a team. I think this is like truly their first official year. Because remember last year, James Harden was hurt, and then we had just Embiid for like the entire year, pretty much. Or was it just James Harden wasn't playing at a good level? I think he was hurt though. Was he hurt last year?
All year.
Yeah, he tripped at the strip club and he hurt his hamstring or something. Supposedly.
But yeah, you know what I mean? Like, we've really just seen him dominate, you know what I mean? Like, Embiid dominated solo. It's kind of like that Russell Westbrook KD thing, but just on a different level. Yeah. Remember how, like, in OKC, how when KD was out, Russ would take the, all the shots and would be great. And then when Russ is out, KD will be great. It's kind of like that. Like, when James Harden wasn't playing, was out for a little bit, Joel Embiid really willed that team, was like the greatest player, and we was like, remember last year we was talking about like he's like up next, and then once they play together, they're just not the same team anymore. It's very clear there. So I think that if I'm Philly, I'm trading away James. Sorry, Jason, and we're keeping Embiid.
It just might not be a good fit between those two. James Harden is an up pace, fast, up and down the basketball court type of player, and Embiid's a half court guy, right? You don't want to make Embiid waste all of his energy that he should be spending destroying, eating people in the post, running up and down the floor. So they just don't mesh well together. And you have to understand that great NBA teams right now, every top 4 team, top 5 team in each conference can defend and score. They're not one-sided basketball teams. And even if you have an average or below average defense, I don't care, unless you have the best offense in the league, which the 76ers don't, you're not going to do much in the playoffs right now. Teams are really good. Teams are really balanced. So, yeah, that's what the 76ers are at.
I got a question. Why is Joel Embiid on top of the key all the time when he should be in the post? Why is he out trying to shoot?
I know.
Can I just add? I'm just wondering. I see the guy half his size. You're getting a double team in the post. Kick it out to someone and let them shoot the three. He's always on top of the key or at the 3-point line.
I know.
He's not a very good 3-point shooter this season. Last year he was all right, but this year, man, he can shoot. I don't know.
Doc Rivers came out and said in an interview, or somebody was at the practice or something along those lines, and Doc Rivers said that he's going to put him at the free throw line so he doesn't get double teamed anymore. And I remember talking about that. It's the same exact thing week 1. What the heck are you doing? The point is to allow him to get double teamed so you get open looks, right? And a guy like Joel Embiid spent his whole life developing his skill set from the block. What do you expect him to turn into? LeBron James catching it at the free throw line and start handling the ball and yamming on people? That's not his skill. Doc Rivers is just stupid. I don't know what's going on over there. I think
Doc Rivers has been watching too much porn lately and less basketball because he got busted with the porn. And I think that he started focusing on the Philadelphia. You didn't hear about that? apparently he
got busted with Twitter porn.
He started watching porn and he started liking it, and it started showing up on his stuff, on his Instagram and all this stuff. And he said it got hacked. Apparently,
likely excuse.
Yeah. Rather than looking at porn, look at some playbooks and start getting your offense together, buddy.
I think Doc's out of there, honestly.
Oh my god!
I think he's out of there. I think that they're going to realize that he can't make it work. He couldn't make it work in LA. He can't make it work here with these two superstars. I don't think it's at the end of the day. I don't think it's the players. At some point, I think you have to put the blame on the coach. I think it's the system that they're in. Coaches are supposed to figure out a way to play their star players at their strengths, right?
Yeah.
You know that James Harden, he likes a quick offense because he came from the D'Antoni offense.
Yeah.
Always been in the D'Antoni offense. He's used to running and gunning, knocking down threes, and everybody running alongside him. But Joel Embiid doesn't play that way. Joel Embiid needs more of a half-court offense. Okay, I can get in the post. I'm going to destroy you in the post. I'm going to play against like the best big man, and I'm just going to just eat him alive every time because I'm so skilled around the post. I'm going to hit the fadeaway. I'm going to knock you down, jump all over you, and dunk all over you and just be dominant. That's just his style of play. Now, those two styles of plays don't quite mesh, but you're supposed to figure out a system and where somehow it can work. Maybe you let James Harden come down the court every once in a while and just push the pace. And then maybe majority of the time you let Joel Embiid get his time to shine within the half-court setting. But you don't push him at the free throw line because, like Jason said, he's not going to automatically one day wake up with a handle.
Yeah. So
that just doesn't work.
I think it's time.
And you have a good passer in James Harden. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, that's okay, man. Go ahead. I was just going to say it's time for Doc Rivers to get fired and go home and watch some porn for the rest of his NBA season. It's obviously not a fit. Hard. So they need to get someone in there that's going to be like, hey, Embiid, if I was a coach and I saw Joel Embiid come off the post, I'd be like, you're sitting. I wouldn't care how much money he's making. I'd be like, you're sitting. If you don't understand why you're sitting, it's because your big stupid ass is coming out on the 3-point line and thinking you're Larry Bird, which you're not. And it's just like, just stay in the post. When you watch him play, it's very frustrating because he's like 7 feet, 300 pounds, and the guy beside him, it's not even as big as his leg. And he's just like, oh, me go shoot jump shot. Me go shoot jump shot. And then he misses. He does like his 1 foot dirt shot. It's, like I said, a whole new episode that could be. We can talk about that. It's just frustrating. As a post player, you're just sitting there just like, dude, just maul him. Like you're 7 feet. Just put your hands out like this. But no, me get basketball. Me go shoot basketball on 3-point line. Me miss. Then me look at crowd and go, oh, me bad, process bad.
But go back to my point. You have James Harden, who's not a bad passer, who can make that entry pass into the lane to get the ball to Joel Embiid. Why is he not playing that way? Why are we not letting James Harden really get into that point guard role, and really just pass the ball at a high level like he does? It makes it work. The way that go ahead.
Sorry, no, you go ahead, man. Sorry, I just sneezed a little bit. Sorry.
Oh, bless you. No, you're fine. And so the way that when we had first heard about the James Harden trade, and I was all bad on it, the reason why Jason was so high on it was because of the level of passing that James Harden can display. Yeah. And the way that he believed that it could work if he was just, to show off his passing skills and really get everybody open and involved. That's not truly happening because the passing is not working right now. Because you're not placing him in the right positions to really line up these plays. That's why you should have Joel Embiid. You should really, if you want this to work, the quickest way to fix this is you have all these talented scorers. Tobias Harris. I'm sorry, not Tobias Harris.
Tobias Harris looks like he's going downhill.
Yeah, not
Tobias Harris is looking like it's 12, 13 points.
Tobias Harris's street ball name is 50-50 because you don't know which one's going to show up every game. You don't know which one's going to show up. Is it going to be the one that's going to play, or is it the one that's going to be shooting bricks and building houses for the poor?
Bad. It's
right.
Bad.
I'm sorry, Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid, and James Harden, right? So you have all these talented scorers, so you just need to really just get the ball to James Harden and let him control the offense. Easy. Let him control the offense. Let him pass the ball to Joel Embiid. Get him down low. Do not start him from the free throw line. That's terrible. Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Have you seen, James Harden, he dribbles like about 20 times before he comes up there. Have you seen him when he comes up the court and he starts going, he looks at the guy and he goes, the guy's just like, all right, man, I'm done. Just do what you got to do. You're dribbling about 20 times on me. Go ahead. And Embiid's like this, give me ball. Give me ball. And then James Harden's like, you're just looking at Embiid. Yep, you're not getting this thing. And it's just like, it's like cat and mouse, man. Like you watch him. I watched the Toronto game. Toronto Embiid's like, give me ball. James Harden's like, I'm not giving it to you. I got like 20 dribbles on me. I'm going to pass it to the other guy on the other side. And Embiid's like, me go get ball. Me go back up. Doc. Me get ball. No, you don't get ball. Oh, okay. Me go down. Me go at 3-point line. James Harden, give me ball. He's the most frustrating player. I can't watch him that much. I feel like putting my foot through the TV sometimes. Like seriously, you're 7 feet tall, 310 pounds. Go in the post, maul people. Like it's like a bear attack in there. Right? Looking like a little pussy cat. Me get ball. Me shoot threes. Sorry. You're going to be doing a lot of editing on this thing. A lot of editing.
No, everything's good. Yeah.
No, it's all fine. It's all fine.
Unreal. It's crazy. Well, it's funny, man. It's like when you watch him play, it's like, me get ball, I get free throw line. And then he gets it, and then he gets double teamed, and then he'll pass it out. But he needs shooters around him, too, so.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Exactly. That'll be the end of the Philadelphia rant for me for today. I feel better now, though. I do feel good now. A lot of it came off my chest. This feels a lot better.
We love that. One team
into the West.
Go ahead.
Right. Moving on to the West. Right. I think at the beginning of the season, before they even shot one basketball, put one basketball on the floor, the Suns were deemed the favorites to win the championship this year. Are they rightfully the favorites, or is it still too early to tell?
Go ahead, or do you want me to go?
Oh, Jason, you go ahead. I can already tell you by sign language on what they're going to do this season. Boop. You see that? You see the thumbs down? They're not making the championship this year. Chris Paul is about as old as about this piece of wood I see outside right now. The guy is not going to make it to the finals this year. The only chance he had was in Houston when James Harden was amazing. But I think Ayton's going to be out of there by All-Star break. It doesn't seem like he's clicking there right now. And with the drama that happened on the offseason, I don't see him sticking around.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
See, I told you.
Yeah, I think, it's a sad scenario where Devin Booker kind of has found his ceiling as a basketball player. It doesn't seem like he can improve any more than what he is. Cam Johnson and DeAndre Ayton have really kind of not improved from last year. Oh, Devin Booker is the logo for the Xbox game.
Yeah. But 2K23 is a cover athlete.
It's going to be
no Jay Crowder. That's a fact. No Jay Crowder. That's really impacting the team. I feel like there are different tiers of NBA championship making teams or NBA Western Conference champions. In the year that they made it to the NBA Finals, if you look at the history of the NBA, they were a low-tier NBA championship team, right? What I mean by that is when there's great teams in the NBA, like the Clippers and the Warriors roster right now, the great NBA champions, those Suns teams could never hold a candle to a team like that. And that's what we're going to get shown this year. They're going to be a 3, 4, 5, 6 seed, and we're going to get shown that there's a real difference there.
What do you think about it there, Chris? About the Suns?
Ah, man. The Suns, I think it's still too early to tell.
Really?
It's still too early to tell. I think it's still too early to tell. I feel like
you need to open your window because I think the lack of oxygen in your room right now.
How did you get to that answer?
I think it's still too early to tell because how I see things is that I think that Devin Booker's playing pretty well this season. I looked at his stats; he's playing pretty well. We know what he's going to be. I just don't feel like I can judge them truly off of just 5 games. I think I have to get close to the All-Star break and I see who they truly become when they hit their stride to be able to judge them. I mean, based off of what you saying, this is just all history. Jason, you were talking about, what I mean? Like, historically, the team, they're a low tier, championship team. They did have a really good chance in the championship, and that's probably their only window at it. But I think it's still too early to tell because they ran through a lot of teams who were just injury ridden. I mean, the Lakers at that point were just Anthony Davis and LeBron James. Mm-hmm. Injuries. Everybody they played has injuries, and they, kind of snuck their way into the NBA Finals that year.
Yeah.
And then got beat. But I mean, who knows? It's only been 5 games so far.
Yeah.
5 games too many in my book. I just want to bring up one thing with that Jay Crowder. I saw him holding out and saying that he wanted to be traded from the Suns. If that's correct, he's not. Yeah. He didn't show up to their training camp or whatever.
He hasn't been playing any games either.
I would just like to state on this podcast that he's an idiot for doing that. He should have just went and played with the Suns. I think he just got picked up. I think they just signed him. Just like he wasn't like a big free agent. I think he should have just went and played with the Suns and should have just stuck it out. He shouldn't have pulled that stuff with saying he wanted to get out of there and stuff. I think that was not a good look.
Okay.
I like Jay Crowder. I think that was
internal.
I like Jay Crowder too. But man, when he held out, I was just like, "You're a piece of the Suns." I was just like,
"Yeah."
So
I think it's eternal. I think it has something to do with like the front office and that. What was it? The owner or something like that?
The owner. I think it had something to do with the fact that the owner was getting investigated, and that's why he didn't want to stay.
But he has something wrong getting paid by the owner. I don't understand how does that work. You got a problem with the owner, the white owner, but you got a problem with the white owner giving you money. I don't know. It's different in the league now. It was same thing with the Clippers. Remember that guy that he just lost it on a rant? I forget his name, and he had to sell the Clippers. Some of these owners, man, they got to start thinking a little bit common sense when they're doing stuff.
That's true. It seems like they lack common sense when it comes to certain things. Like you shouldn't let people. The thing is, though, I'm not saying that any of these people were right. That is not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that you just have to have some wherewithal. If nobody knows that you're doing this, then nobody cares that you're doing this. You know what I mean? But if people know, then they care.
Yeah. It's like when you're hearing about the Suns guy, he's getting suspended for a year, and then you read about what he did, you're just like, how are you billionaire? Like, what's the process?
Yeah.
Are you and Doc Rivers selling porn on the side here, or what?
Not Doc Rivers selling porn on the side, right?
One team that I wanted to talk about real quick is I watched the game of them is the Chicago Bulls. The Chicago Bulls really impressed me because I think they have a new layer in their offense. And the new layer is that Nikola Vucevic, when he was in Orlando, he was an all-star center. It was a low-tier all-star center, but he was still making an all-star game. And part of that reason was because he was really good in the post, right? And in the Bulls last year, they really didn't allow him to work in the post. They just kind of made him stay at the three-point line. But I watched them play, and I was like, wow, they're really using him in the post more. They're giving him more paint touches. And they added Andre Drummond as well. And now they have a really good rotational centerpiece who's a great rebounder, who defends the rim pretty well at the basket, and they both are dominant inside forces. So they kind of added a new dynamic to their team, a new thing that they didn't have last year. And they have a lot of good guards. Ayo Dosunmu, Goran Dragic's there. Lonzo Ball's hurt. They got Cody White, Alex Caruso, Zach LaVine. Like, they're really deep. And once they get Lonzo Ball back and they get that passing and defense, they could be a 4, 5, 6 seed in the East this year. And I really feel like they're going to make an improvement this year because they're using the talent that they had on their team last year better.
I agree. I think they're going to be definitely a dark horse in the East this year for the playoffs and stuff. I don't think you're going to want to play that team in the beginning of the playoffs because they are going to make some noises. And it all depends with Lonzo Ball too if he's going to come back. I heard his knee is supposed to be. It's like he might come back, might not. So what will they do? Are they going to get rid of him, trade him? They're going to use some of that for the salary cap to get some more players in. But also DeMar DeRozan too. He's changed since Toronto, his whole thing. So he's one of the main reasons why Chicago right now is doing so well.
I'm curious about that. What makes you think DeMar DeRozan changed from Toronto? Because he was good.
He's got more confidence. Like in Toronto, it was just like towards the end of Toronto, his seasons, it wasn't so confident. He was just like, oh, well, just dragging on. In Chicago, it feels like a new beginning for him. You see more of his mid-range.
I could see that.
You didn't see a lot of that in Toronto. It was more like he had everything. Now it's like he's like a mid-range specialist. He definitely has.
It's true.
He's definitely got probably one of the top 3 mid-range jump shots in the NBA with Durant and Kawhi, I believe.
Footwork wise, he's got to be like neck and neck with Kawhi and KD too. Like he's really special. Yeah,
he is definitely. What do you think about Chris? What do you think about Dub?
I was gonna say, if I was DeMar DeRozan, I would not have as much confidence if I knew I had to face LeBron in the East every night. Every LeBron too.
Oh man,
sorry.
Take a shot at the Toronto team.
I
had to get that one out. I had to get that one out.
That's why he went to the East. He didn't want to do anything with the West. He was either going to play with LeBron or he was going to just go to the East. So the Lakers didn't work out with him, so he said, you know what, I'm not messing with you today, LeBron. I'm going to go and play in the East here. I'll see you in the finals, possibly. All right?
Possibly. Yeah. He was like, I don't want to do it. But I definitely like the Bulls team. I was really big on them. I'm hoping that Lonzo heals up good enough to be able to come back, because he's definitely a focal point. They'll be able to really just work him back into the offense. But they are doing really well right now. I do want to say we should give the claps though, because DeMar DeRozan is the 5th player, I think, to reach 20,000 points this season. 50th.
I thought you said all time. He's 50th all time.
He's 50th all the time, and he just reached 20,000 points in the last game, so we're going to give him the claps.
I'm going to give him a clap.
20,000 points.
Because it sort of sounds like to me he's a bit of a ball hog. That's what it sounds like to me. How many assists does he have? I bet he doesn't have 20,000 assists, huh?
Oh. Wait. He averaged 5 assists a game in San Antonio.
Hold on.
Hey, true.
You're going to be surprised. You're going to be surprised.
Let's check our future sponsorship, Basketball Reference.
Might as well.
He really improved his passing skill at San Antonio.
I just think he just got tired of like every time you see him in Canada, it'd be like, hey, the Cleveland Cavaliers are playing Toronto. Let's watch the highlights. It would just be like LeBron James ripping apart DeMar DeRozan and the Toronto Raptors. I remember he came down on a fourth quarter shot and he just threw it off the backboard and just went into the locker room, LeBron, and that was it. It was over.
Yes. That shot was crazy.
DeMar DeRozan pulled a Joel Embiid afterward and started crying. Go, me go to the East. Me go to the Bulls. Me go Bulls. So he is averaging 26.2 points per game in his first 6 games. 3 rebounds and 4 assists. His career average is 20 points a game.
All right. Did you see the San Antonio stats? I'm telling you, averaged at least 5 assists.
Hold on.
I'm telling you.
20,000 points.
You'll be surprised.
How many assists? Let's see. If he even averaged 5 assists. Yeah, he averaged 6.2 assists in the 2018-19 season. And he averaged 5.6 assists in the 2019-2020 season. Mm-hmm. And that was thanks to the Basketball Reference.
Thank you, Basketball Reference.
You're welcome.
Please sponsor us.
Basketball Reference is gone.
I will be sending a DM tomorrow about this and being like, hey, listen, I referenced you to you about 100 times today. You can listen to the podcast. We're looking for some money here, all right?
Right. Basketball Reference. Okay.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to hit, Chris?
Yeah, let's just move on into our very last segment where we will talk about rookie highlights. Anybody? So I got a couple rookies here where is leading the charge right now for all the rookies. They're 1 through 5. We have Paolo Banchero, Benedict Mathurin, Jabari Smith Jr., Jalen Duren, and Jaden Ivey. Those are the top 5 rookies in the league right now.
I'm not gonna lie. As a basketball player, if I was playing against a guy named Benedict something, whatever his name is, I would be trash talking him the whole game and making him cry with a name like that. All right.
Making some Doc Rivers references. That's what you'd be doing.
What was his name? Benedict? What was it? Benedict what?
Benedict.
Yeah.
Benedict Mathurin.
Yeah. I definitely, that would, I can't say it on this podcast, but there would be some words into that with trash talking. But I would definitely, I haven't, I'm sorry, I'm just going to answer. I haven't followed much of the rookies since the big tall white kid got injured by LeBron James in the summer pro league or whatever. Yeah. What about the kid from Orlando? How's he doing?
Paolo Banchero is doing really well. Yeah.
Scored 20 plus in every appearance so far.
Oh, wow. Well,
really
then
good start.
He's going to win Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
Might as well just give it to him now.
Yeah.
Who else? Is there anyone else that's even close to him?
No. Stats-wise, no.
Benedict? What's Benedict?
Jaden Ivey got 16. Well, he's shooting 42.9% right now on 7 attempts. Yeah, so from 3. So that's not too bad.
So who do you think your Rookie of the Year would be if you were going to pick today?
It's going to be Paolo.
Yeah, Paolo.
Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
Yeah. Yeah, so here's a little bit of stats from our top 5 here. So Paolo Banchero, like I said, scored 20 plus in every appearance so far. Benedict Mathurin had a monster game against Detroit, and he's averaging 7 attempts and shooting 42.9% from 3. Jabari Smith Jr. is starting for the Rockets, averaging 15.3 points per game, 7 rebounds, and 1.3 assists. Jalen Duren, here's a nice stat about Jalen Duren. He's only 18 years old, and he's already on course to lead the league in offensive rebounds, averaging 3.5 offensive rebounds and 5.9 per 36 minutes played. So here's a little bit of a comparison here. So Steven Adams, who was last year's league leader, averaged 3.6 officially and 3.9 per 36 minutes played.
That doesn't sound
so he's already on course to lead the league in offensive rebounds.
Huh? How can somebody lead the league in rebounds if they're averaging 5.9? Giannis has like 12.
In rookies, maybe, I think.
Oh, all-time rookie. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay.
Yeah, 5.9 per 36 minutes played, and then Steven Adams last year, league leader, averaged 3.6 officially and 3.9 per 36 minutes played. Not rebounds, these are offensive rebounds.
Offensive rebounds.
I got another question. Kareem, Bill Russell, Wilt never averaged more than that? The rookie year?
Offensive rebounds.
Where are they getting?
Those are
offensive rebounds.
There's no way Wilt didn't average more than...
Steven Adams was the league leader last year. I don't know how many.
Okay, that's what you're talking leaders. About.
Yeah.
Okay, I was confused by your word. Okay, I was confused by word. Thank you for clarifying.
Oh yeah, not a problem. Yeah, so he's on course right now. Jalen Duren is on course to lead the league in offensive rebounds.
Yeah.
If you comparing to Steven Adams, who won the league, who was the league leader last year.
Okay.
Jaden Ivey, who's also pretty great, averaging 16 points per game, 4.3 rebounds per game, and 5.5 assists while shooting 42.9%. It's crazy. These rookies are getting better and better.
Guess who has the highest offensive rebounds per game, like career-wise? What player?
Are we including Wilt and Bill into this conversation?
All of them. Every single player on the planet.
It can't be anybody after year 1975.
Well, I'm just looking up Google here, not Basketball Reference, and I can tell you that it is Moses Malone with 5.1 offensive rebounds per game.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
He was crazy.
It's crazy.
So if that 18-year-old
he's
is
top
doing
5
that now,
rebounder all time.
His roof, he's going to go through the roof here.
Yeah.
So
that's Jalen Duren. Yeah.
When it comes down to the rookies, Paolo Banchero is playing with so much confidence. I didn't expect him to come out so early and really play with so much confidence early in the season. He's a mid-range scorer. He's really fluid. He's a great athlete for 6'10". He plays with power. So I'm impressed by him. He was my number 3 prospect coming into the draft, I think. Benedict Mathurin, he's playing pretty well. He's going to push Chris Duarte for the second best scorer on that team, even though, it's not a great achievement because the Pacers suck at playing basketball. They're going to win like 20 games. But Benedict Mathurin was like number 6 or 7 on the big board for me. Jabari Smith Jr., really like the way he's playing. He was my number 1 guy coming into the draft. The Rockets, he's doing really well. And Jalen Duren, I'm actually not super surprised by the rebound dominance because I compared him to DeAndre Jordan. Like, he's a freak athletically. He's really strong. So, the rebounds make sense for me. And, Jaden Ivey, you know how much I love him. He's so fast and gifted athletically that he's going to keep on scoring really well. So that's what I'm thinking about the rookies. But Paolo's definitely the shoe-in for Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, I would say so as well.
Yeah.
And last little tidbit, do you know that the Lakers, right, are the only team still winless in the entire league?
Not surprising.
Because since Sacramento won, Sacramento's 1-4. 1-5, and Lakers are now 5-0.
You know, when Sacramento
out of breadstick.
When Sacramento's beating you, you got problems. All right,
be more true, Darren.
That is more true. Very true.
You need to start making some serious trades here. All right, if Sacramento's beating, I'm glad we ended with that because people really need to think about that one.
Yeah.
Sacramento are beating the Lakers in a record right now.
Yeah,
I don't know if you guys get any mail or anything like that, but if we keep on talking about the Lakers like this, we're going to be getting some some comments about it, which is going to be great.
Yeah.
Because they suck right now. They really do. They are really bad. And I'd like to just say, as a Boston Celtics fan, yet again, I love to watch them suffer. I love to watch every Lakers fan suffer. And I can't wait to watch them play the Lakers whenever they play them and kick the crap out of them, basically.
I'm not watching that game.
Come on, man, Legault. We're gonna watch him get sliced and diced by the Boston Celtics. It's gonna be 20-point win.
That's not even fair because he ain't got no. He don't have.
So sad.
Where's his help out? He's 37.
Well, that's why he's got to score
going
20
on
points.
38.
That's why he's got to score 20 points because he's got no help.
It's crazy how good he is.
I want to see what he's averaging right now. Hold on.
Like, nobody in their right mind, when Anthony Davis got traded to the Lakers, would have said, in 3 years, the best player on this team is going to be LeBron James.
True.
Nobody. Like, Anthony Davis was on track to becoming that guy. Like, it's just...
Ever since the
that's
Pelicans,
another guy like Ben Simmons.
Ever since he's played, he's left the Pelicans. Anthony Davis, he's just not been the same. Anthony Davis, New York Pelicans, and DeMarcus Cousins, were like the mega powers of the NBA. If those two stuck together, they would be having rings right now together. All they needed was like they had
Drew Holiday on that team too.
Yeah, they had a great team. Sorry, back to Rondo. Back to LeBron. So he is in 5 games, averaging 25 points a game. 9 rebounds and 7 assists. His career average is 27, 7, and 7. So you guys think about at his age right now doing this. This is crazy.
Go ahead.
And he's playing like 1 against 5 all the time on the court, which is nuts.
That's true, though.
It's like, who's got the ball? LeBron. Who passed it to himself? LeBron passed it to himself, and then he shot it. Who got the rebound? LeBron. Who's coaching LeBron? Like come on.
Right.
Like, he's gonna pass Kareem, and he probably will have 40,000 points. But if he keeps on playing like this, is 45,000 points a goal? Like I would have never expected any basketball player looking this good at 37.
That's true.
He's on his 30th year, so he'll probably play another 10 more. So he'll be in his 40th by the time he's probably double Kareem. So he'll be good.
He'll be at normal people's retirement age before he retires.
I'm going to call it right now. He will be the first basketball player to score 100,000 points, LeBron James. Okay? He'll be the first player.
Oh my gosh. If he does, he's a cyborg. He's a cyborg.
Well, he spends $1 million on his body a year on to get his body ready. Which, you know what? I don't know how you can spend $1 million on your body. Like, what is that? Like, what does that entail?
Bioengineering.
Do you go the Ted Williams way and just go and just put yourself into a cold crypto thing for the off season? Then during the season, boom, LeBron James comes out?
Or something like that.
He probably does go cryogenics.
Yeah, you're right, Chris. That's
I think he does cryo chamber.
You should have took Russell Westbrook in there and put him in there and then brought him back when he was playing for OKC. They might be
leave it to the future
right
doctor to get the wording right.
Oh, man.
Right.
I don't know.
No, wait. You know what's funny, though?
Go ahead, buddy.
AD right now is averaging 24 points, 9.5 rebounds, and 2 assists. That's very similar to what LeBron is averaging, yet they cannot win a game. How is that possible?
Don't get me started on that.
Because it's a team game and you need to have a team to play, and they don't have. They have Patrick Beverley, who's on his back end of his career, who talks more than he plays.
True.
He should be going on first take rather than playing with the Lakers right now because he is not playing up to snuff. And they got Darvin Ham, who's a new coach, who really is just only known for ripping down a hoop. Who else they got?
Literally.
All they got is literally, like, I don't know too many other. It's either going to be LeBron James taking the Lakers to the championship, and that's it. Unless they make some trades.
Yeah. I mean, Darvin Ham is a bust as a coach because anybody that, it's just that stupid freaking Milwaukee Bucks defense and the defensive rating stats. Like, I hate team stats because it never equates to actually who's good at defense and offense. Like, when you put Anthony Davis on defense at the center position, the whole intrigue is switching. Okay? Then why is he playing next to the rim in drop coverage like he's Brooke freaking Lopez for the Milwaukee Bucks? I don't understand it. And they do it against like Klay Thompson and Dame Lillard and Steph Curry. They're just having them at the rim. Like, hello, it's easy cooking for those guys. Like, it's just, how do you use Anthony Davis like that? It's just so freaking stupid.
When they showed their offense, they're like, yeah, the Lakers are going to do this new 4-out, 1-in offense with AD, and I'm just like this. If I had any hair left, I would have ripped it out. I would have been like, what are you doing? He doesn't want to play in the post. He wants to shoot. Just what are you doing? This isn't working. And as soon as he gets in the post, he brings it out and shoots a jump shot. I'm just like, I don't know what's wrong. So I think that I'm just going to leave it at that.
It's hard to play. It's hard to play 1-in and 4-out when the 4-out can't shoot.
Right.
What's the point?
He's got the Joel Embiid thing. Give me ball, 3-point line. Give me ball. I can't shoot. Give me ball.
Oh
Same thing with AD.
He's shooting 22% from 3 right now.
That's what happens when you don't touch a ball for the whole summer, like he said. He came out with something and said that he wasn't practicing. That's the results. He used to shoot like 30% before we got the Lakers, or some mid-30s. Like, there's nobody, like, what is he doing in the offseason? He obviously says he's not doing anything.
Listen, I don't...
There are rookies shooting better than him.
Helen Keller. I don't know if anyone knows Helen Keller, but look it up. She was a blind woman, a famous blind woman. She could shoot better than AD right now, all right? It is really, really bad. It is horrible, man. I don't know. Between that and an afro, I don't know what's going on. He really needs to go back to the AD of New Orleans, where it was just shaved and he was just going in there, just cutthroat and just ripping people apart. Now it's just like,
yeah,
I don't know. I'd trade him. If I'm a GM, I'm getting rid of Russell. You know what? I would say, you know what, Russ? We're just going to pay you out. You're that bad. Go home and get a jump shot, and hopefully next season you can find an NBA team, but it won't be with the Lakers. We'll buy you out. AD, you're gone. You're done. We don't even want you here anymore. Your card to get into the building is done. We're going to ship you off to like Utah. Yeah. You're done. Bye-bye. And then
the one lesson I feel like we should all learn from this in one sentence is never trust a man with a unibrow. All right.
No, never. No.
If he has one eyebrow, he cannot be trusted.
That thing looks like a fishing rod. Seriously, I don't know. I think overall this was a. I don't know what else we got to finish off here, but I think that overall this episode has been wonderful.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah,
I think so as well. I think this is a great stopping point. Go ahead.
A lot of editing. will be done in this thing here.
It's raw footage, man. It's raw footage. I'm leaving everything in there.
Yeah, I agree.
That's what makes it great. Is there So I do just want to say thank you so much, guys, for listening, for tuning in, for sitting with us and listening to us rabble and ramble and talk about LeBron and being better than Jordan, which is true. Oops, I'm sorry, I said it out loud again.
And talking about Joel Embiid. Me get ball, 3-point line, me get ball, me shoot.
Oh my goodness.
And AD being made of glass and not being what he was supposed to be as a player and need to be traded. Me crying over the Lakers every night. What else?
The Cavs getting beat by Boston, the Cavs beating Boston, which I am going to be throwing a bonfire with this jersey afterwards.
LeBronto?
Yeah. No.
Oh my gosh.
And just talking about how Jason's Sixers are never going to win an NBA championship in the process.
Oh my
god!
It's not my team. It's not my team.
Go.
Let's just say that everyone who listens to this right now, if you like fan mail, please send it to Jason with Philadelphia symbols, everything. If you have some cheesecake, send it to him. We'll give you an address. We will do anything that's possible. Jerseys are acceptable.
Oh my god.
All right, yeah. So go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. Give us a rating on Apple Podcasts, anywhere you leave a podcast. Make sure you follow us and subscribe. We drop we're gonna drop every Monday starting now.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Every Monday there'll be a drop on there, and just look out for it. We're gonna keep going week by week. This is week 2 in the books. There's been 5 to 6 games played so far. So. Hopefully next week the Lakers get a win. I'm hoping for it. I just need one.
And hopefully I get that
one.
And I hopefully get that unicorn next week too that I've been waiting for. That's gonna happen. No.
All right.
All right.
Get a win.
Do you guys think the Lakers? Honestly, do you think the Lakers will win next week? By the time we have our next podcast?
Yes.
One win.
Yes, they're going to win one game. They're going to have one game.
1-9.
And then they're going to hit their stride, and then they're going to they're going to win at least 10 more games. And that'll be it.
Over the regular season? Okay, that makes sense.
I'm going to call it right now. By the time we have this next podcast, Russell Westbrook will not be a Laker.
Hopefully. Please, thank you.
That's bold.
That's great
bold
news.
And I'm a Boston fan, and I still want him traded.
I feel like
the Boston Celtics. You want Russell Westbrook?
No,
might as well take
definitely
him.
Would not. Definitely would not. If I would, I don't even know who are you going to trade. What was it? What were they going to do with what was it in the offseason? Trade Kevin Durant for Jason Tatum? I think someone drank some Jesus juice on that one because that was a dumb trade. Stupid.
I'll take Jason Tatum for Russell Westbrook.
No. Oh my. You would take, yes, anyone would. But who are you going to take? How is Russell Westbrook? We just got to end this thing. It is about 11 o'clock my time right now. I'm going to start waking up the neighbors with this rant. It's going to start getting crazy here. I am not taking Russell Westbrook to the Boston Celtics. It will never happen. I will personally travel down on a plane. I will find one around here and travel down and end that. Horrible. I'm going to have nightmares about that now. I don't even want to talk about it.
Oh my goodness.
Alrighty. Once again, Darren, welcome to the Basketball Addicts. Thank you so much for listening,
thank you guys for letting me come on here and do my...
No, it's great.
This is better than therapy. This is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Now you get it. Yeah.
I hope you got it.
Thank you very much for having me, and thank you for the people who are listening to this podcast and listening to that. We are very passionate, as you can see, and sometimes go off topic and go on random rants. But it's all about basketball, and it's all good.
Yep. Yeah. I agree. Yeah.
So thank you guys.
All right. Well, we are the Basketball Addicts. Peace.
Thank you.